The double A and double C services were the predecessors to the current C service. A and double A service began on September 10, 1932, with the opening of the first line of the independent subway system, the 8th Avenue line. The IND used single letters to refer to express services and double letters for local services. The A ran express and the double A ran local from 168th Street to Chambers Street/World Trade Center, known at the time as Hudson Terminal. The double A ran at all times and was extended from 207th Street during nights and on Sundays when the A did not run. On February 1st, 1933, the double A was extended to the newly opened J Street Borough Hall station when the A did not run, continuing to terminate at Chambers Street when the A did run. The C and double C services began operation on July 1st, 1933, when the IND Concourse line opened. The double C provided local service between Bedford Park Boulevard and Hudson Terminal during rush hours, and was extended to 205th Street during non-rush hours. It replaced the double A as the 8th Avenue local. The C ran express from 205th Street to Bergen Street in Brooklyn during rush hours. Beginning August 19, 1933, C service was cut back from Bergen Street, but started operating during non-rush hours. At the same time, double C service was cut back from 205th Street during non-rush hours. On January 1st, 1936, C service was extended to J Street Borough Hall. On April 9th, 1936, C service was extended again to Hoyt Schermerhorn Streets. After July 1st, 1937, a few C trains continued to run to Bergen Street southbound in the morning rush hour, and northbound in the evening rush hour. Also on the same date, weekend C service was discontinued, and the double C service was extended to 205th Street to compensate the change. On December 15, 1940, the IND 6th Avenue line opened. Two new services, the BB, later B train, and the D began running. These lines on the 8th Avenue line in Upper Manhattan switching to the 6th Avenue line in Midtown. The double B ran local to 168th Street during rush hours. The D joined the C as the peak direction Concourse Express. Double C trains now ran between Hudson Terminal and Bedford Park Boulevard during rush hours and on Saturdays and during other times. The D made local stops in the Bronx, replacing the double C service. On the same day, limited morning rush hour service began between 205th Street in the Bronx and Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, making local stops on the IND Fulton Street line. The double A service was reinstated during this time, but only during off-peak hours when the double B and double C did not operate. The double C would provide 8th Avenue line local service during rush hours, with the double A replacing it during off-peak hours, mostly unchanged until 1988. But we'll get there. On October 24, 1949, C Express service was discontinued. Additional D service was added to offset this loss. The double C, which only ran during rush hours, began terminating at Broadway Lafayette Street from Mondays to Fridays, and on Saturdays, double C service continued to operate to Hudson Terminal. On December 29, 1951, Saturday double C service was discontinued. Weekday double C service returned to its previous terminal at Hudson Terminal on October 30th, 1954. On August 30th, 1976, the double C train replaced the E train as the rush hour local along the IND Fulton Street line and the IND Rockaway line running from Rockaway Park Beach 116th Street in Queens through Brooklyn and Manhattan to Bedford Park Boulevard in the Bronx, making it the only service to run through all four boroughs served by the subway. The Rockaway Park shuttle, the Double H, was renamed the Double C. This shuttle ran between Broad Channel and Rockaway Park during off-peak hours except late nights. With this, all daytime service to and from Rockaway Park was named the Double C. Late nights, the shuttle ran between Euclid Avenue and Rockaway Park and Far Rockaway Mott Avenue via the Hamels Y and was labeled the A. On August 28, 1977, late-night AA service was eliminated. The A began making local stops in Manhattan during late nights when the AA was not running. On May 6, 1985, the IND practice of using double letters to indicate local service was discontinued. The AA was renamed the K, and rush hour double C service was renamed the C. The off-peak Rockaway Park shuttle was renamed the H. This change was not officially reflected in schedules until May 24, 1987. On December 10, 1988, the K designation was discontinued and merged into the C, which now ran at all times except late nights. The C ran from Bedford Park Boulevard to Rockaway Park during rush hours, 145th Street to Euclid Avenue during middays, and 145th Street to World Trade Center during evenings and weekends. The A now ran express in Brooklyn during middays, and the B was extended to 168th Street during middays and early evenings. On October 23, 1992, rush hour C service was cut back from Rockaway Park Beach 116th Street to Euclid Avenue. The 1992 change introduced 5 A trips in each direction running from 59th Street Columbus Circle to Rockaway Park during rush hours, with the Rockaway Park shuttle renamed from the H to the S operating between Broad Channel and Rockaway Park at all times. And on May 29, 1994, weekend service between 7 a.m. and 11 p.m. was extended to Washington Heights 168th Street, effectively recreating the old AA line to allow A trains to run express. Beginning April 30, 1995, C service was extended to 168th Street during middays as construction on the Manhattan Bridge cut B service from Manhattan. And on November 11, 1995, midday service was cut back to 145th Street after B service to 168th Street was restored. The B and C, which both ran local along Central Park West, switched northern terminals on March 1, 1998, ending the connection between the C and the Bronx. Instead of alternating between 3 different terminals depending on the time of day, all C service now terminated at 168th Street. The change was made to reduce crowding on the C and to reduce passenger confusion about the C's route. Starting on May 2, 1999, C trains were extended to Euclid Avenue on evenings and weekends. The 1999 change had the C now run local in Brooklyn and Manhattan, and the A express, at all times except late nights. In the wake of the September 11, 2001 attacks, World Trade Center Station was temporarily not usable as a terminal for the E. C service was suspended until September 24, 2001. Local service along Central Park West was replaced by the A and D, and the E was extended from Canal Street to Euclid Avenue, replacing the C service in Brooklyn. And later, on January 23, 2005, a fire at the Chambers Street signal room crippled A and C service. C service was suspended until February 2nd and was replaced by the A, B, D, E, and V trains along different parts of its route. Initial assessments suggested that it would take several years to restore normal service, but the damaged equipment was replaced with available spare parts, and normal service resumed on April 21st. From midday on March 29, 2020 to April 29, 2020, C trains were suspended due to the COVID-19 pandemic in New York City, and the A train to Lefferts Boulevard ran local in their place.